My home is with you, Doc.
Hi guys, welcome back to another bold and a beautiful review. Let's talk about this mess of a show today. We had some hypocrisy, some clarity, and an interesting reunion. So we open up with the Tridge reunion and Ridge declaring that his home is with Taylor, even though just a few hours earlier he said that Brooke was the love of his life. Don't forget, technically in soap time, we're still in the same day that Ridge beat up Deacon and confronted Brooke. So a few hours earlier, he was declaring his undying love to Brooke. Now he's saying that home is with Taylor. And this is one of the things I'm going to point out that leads me to believe that Taylor is going to end up hurt in the end in all of this.
But you're the love of my life. You're my Logan.
So yeah, it's clear that we're back in this loop that everybody hates, where Ridge is interchanging the two women. And we're back in this Tridge-Bridge triangle once again because the writers love revisiting it so much. But next we have Steffy and Thomas coming in, seeing their parents kissing and kind of creepily watching them. And they're excited to see that they're back together and they're connecting in this way. And Ridge and Taylor share the good news with them. Ridge tells them that he's coming home and points out that not this home, this is Steffy's home, but he's coming home to his family. Next, we have Brooke in full panic mode explaining to Liam and Hope what happened when she tried to go talk to Ridge, and that Thomas was standing at the door like security and wouldn't let her pass. And she's worried that she's going to lose Ridge to Taylor. Hope is reassuring her that Ridge is not going to throw the marriage away over this. I'm thinking, have you not been around for the last 20 or so years, Hope? Yes. Ridge would throw the marriage away with either woman for the smallest little thing, and that's why they're both so worried. Very much so in the same manner that Liam does the same thing, just like when he thought Thomas was kissing Hope when he was kissing a dummy and ran straight over and slept with Steffy. Brooke lets them know that Thomas had Ridge's phone, so he's not getting any of her calls and doesn't even know that she's trying to reach him. And Liam points out that he thought Thomas was over manipulating situations. And then Hope, of course, thinks it's all on Steffy and that she's the one that's really doing the manipulating, trying to get her parents back together. And Liam, for once, actually says something that I agree with.
You know, I really kind of thought that Thomas was done with the whole, manipulating situation thing.
He's probably just doing Steffy's bidding. You know, they're trying to match-make their parents.
Yeah, exactly. So what are we, in 5th grade?
So infuriating.
Yes, Liam, for once, the waffle gets something right. I've been saying this the whole time. The kids are acting like, I've been saying 12-year-olds, 5th grade, 12-year-olds. I saw some of my comments say 5-year-old. But yes, the kids have been acting like literal kids. Brooke pleads with Liam to go over to Steffy's, pretending like he's wanting to see Kelly, to get into the house so he can talk to Ridge and get a message to him for her. Liam looks hesitant at first and he's like, all right, I'm on it. He's like, I'm inch high, private eye, I'm on it. So he heads over to Steffy's to get in there to relay that message. So Liam shows up at Steffy's and gives the cover story. And of course, Thomas and Steffy aren't buying it and want to know if Brooke sent him over to try to talk to their dad. Liam says yes, and wants to know why they're not letting him talk to Brooke. They say they're not pulling any strings, that their parents are making their own decisions. And Steffy announces that her dad has moved on with Taylor. Liam says, but they're married. Thomas points out, well, if this is the first time this had happened, we could give her some grace. But this happens over and over and over again. And here's where the hypocrisy comes in, because all of them make similar mistakes over and over and over again. And they all get grace, they all come back. But yet, Thomas and Steffy don't want to see that in this situation. and they're building it up, this good versus bad, when it was a mistake.
So I hope.
Yes, you heard that right. We finally have Hope having a moment of clarity and realizing that she was over the top. There was no need for her to be pushing so hard for Deacon to be coming out to the house. Like she's going to say later in the conversation, she could have met him in town for a cup of coffee. Yes, you could have. And I'm going to play another clip of Brooke saying that she disregarded Ridge's feelings. Yes, there was no need for them to push so hard to have Deacon out the house like that. Especially with the history and especially with how Ridge felt about him. They were looking for issues within the marriage when they did that. But I will give both of them credit for having clarity now, better late than never, to see the mistake that was made by letting Deacon in. I'm just hoping with Ridge pushing Brooke away, I'm hoping that she doesn't run to Deacon because, he's going to be pushing pretty hard to get back in her life. So I'm hoping that she doesn't run to him and she remembers what she said right here about why what she did was not the correct path. So we finally get to the big romantic Tridge reunion scene. And what really stuck out to me from that little clip that I just played was that Taylor was professing her love to Ridge and saying how good it felt to be back in his arms. And he said absolutely nothing. He holds her, he kisses her, but he doesn't reiterate that to her. And I see that as a red flag, given that just a few hours earlier, he was declaring that Brooke was the love of his life. So he may say it tomorrow. We never know with these writers. They always like to leave it open-ended so they can give both sides something to hang on to. But I do see that as foreshadowing that this is not going to last, and that when everything comes out, Ridge is going to do what Ridge always does, and that's run straight back to Brooke. But from the spoilers, it looks like the rest of this week is going to be about building the Tridge family and them celebrating Taylor and Ridge being back together. I do know that there's a spoiler about Eric speaking with Brooke, and he's always Team Brooke, so he's going to be on her side. So we'll see how that plays out. And then Sheila is gloating. I saw a spoiler that on Friday, Sheila's going to gloat to Brooke about messing with her, and now her life is in shambles. So that's it for today, guys. I do give Brooke and Hope credit for finally seeing how hypocritical it was. First of all, when you had Sheila and Deacon show up at the same time, and everybody was against Sheila, rightfully so, being a part of the family. And then you have Hope pushing so hard for Deacon and Brooke finally joining in with her. I'm glad they had a moment of clarity today to see that no, that was not the right way to go. Of course, we know it's pushing the storyline forward, but that was a huge mistake. I didn't like Thomas and Steffy gloating about their parents being back together. They were just smirking all over the place when they were speaking with Liam. So I'm sure they're going to rub it in Brooke's face soon this week as well. And of course, we're seeing that Ridge is back to his old ways. We'll see how long he stays with Taylor. They may keep him with her for a while. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting in the weeks to come. But anyway, thank you for watching. Drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts about this. What are your bets? I'm going to compile them and we'll do a video on that. What are your thoughts on how long Tridge will last this time? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a good evening.